Welcome to 1337, the Future of Podcast. I'm Max, and we're diving deep today into a memoir called A Journey Through Grief.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sophia, and it looks like this one's going to be really interesting. The listener wants us to dig into how the author mixes humor with, really raw honesty as he's going through loss and family stuff, right?
Yeah, and figuring out what it all means for him. So we're going to see how he handles losing his parents while raising his younger brother. All that together.
That's, wow, a lot to unpack. The way he approaches grieving and parenting so unconventionally, that's what I'm really curious about.
Yeah, for sure. To give you some background, the author grew up in Lake Forest, a pretty well-off area, but his family life wasn't exactly a walk in the park.
Oh, I see. So that perfect suburb image, not so much.
Not really. He talks about this big difference between the idyllic setting and what was going on in his family, like struggles and stuff.
Okay, I get it. And it seems like that contrast really shaped him, right? He uses these really vivid and funny anecdotes to describe his childhood. Like there's this story about his dad building a boat in their backyard.
Oh yeah, the boat. It was way too big for their little pond. Hilarious.
Exactly. But you can't help but notice he finds humor in these kind of unexpected places.
It's maybe it's how he deals with the tough stuff, like a coping mechanism.
That's a good point. A way of distancing himself from the pain.
Could be. He also talks about his dad's drinking. There's one incident his dad tried to spank him while drunk, and the author and his sister had to fight him off.
Oh, wow. Seriously?
Yeah. They were flailing their arms and legs to get him away. It's intense.
He even describes where they'd hide to avoid those outbursts from his dad. Specific spots in the house. It's pretty raw.
Yeah. It really shows you what it was like growing up with that, Unpredictable.
But even with that going on, there's this strong feeling of love, especially between him and his younger brother, Tooff.
Absolutely. They're super close. And that bond becomes even more important after their mom dies suddenly.
From a brain aneurysm. Right.
Yeah. And here's where it gets interesting. He decides, no way on the traditional funeral.
No funeral. What did they do?
They cremated their mother and then, get this, scattered her ashes in Lake Michigan.
Wow, that's a statement. It's he's not into those societal expectations,
Totally. He's always looking for a more real, more authentic way to deal with things.
Especially grief. Death.
Exactly. And that comes out even more in how he handles his grief. He imagines his mother giving him dating advice. Can you believe that?
Dating advice? From his deceased mother?
Yeah, it's dark humor, but it's how he processes everything.
It's he's keeping her memory alive in this unique way, while also being Tooff's guardian now.
And that adds a whole other layer to it. Imagine grieving while raising a kid.
I can't even imagine. What's his parenting style like?
He's all about making Tooff happy, not so much about strict rules.
More about experiences, then.
For sure. Like taking Tooff to meet the Chicago Bulls. On a school day.
Wow, sounds like he's prioritizing making memories, which made sense with his own background, right?
Totally. But he also talks about feeling torn between giving Tooff stability and dealing with his own grief and wanting freedom. It's a tough balance.
Yeah.
If you're loving this deep dive, we encourage you to visit 1937podcast.com.
Yeah, juggling those needs. Heavy stuff.
Right. And speaking of outlets, that's where Might magazine comes in. It was based in San Francisco and geared toward young adults. It gave him a creative space.
Ah, so that's where his writing comes in. And this was during a tough time for him, right?
Exactly. And Might magazine, that's where his humor, his satirical, edgy humor, shines. Remember when they faked the death of Adam Rich?
Wait, what? They faked a celebrity death? No way. Seriously.
It's wild, right? They even had Robert Urich's manager calling is this true? It really shows you the author's rebellious side. Even with all the grief, he's still poking fun at everything.
Makes you think, huh? It's a way to blow off steam, maybe.
Totally. Oh, remember that story about him trying to rent an apartment? He gets all dressed up to impress the landlady, for Tooff's sake.
He was trying to look all responsible, right? Trying to fit that family man image.
Exactly. Khakis, button-down shirt, even a sport coat. He calls it his pro-establishment outfit.
Oh, I bet. But I'm guessing it didn't go as planned.
Not at all. The landlady is totally convinced they're going to trash the place. Be a burden on the community.
Oh no, that's awful. So what happened?
He ends up making up this whole story about family trusts and lawyers. Just to convince her.
Wow, talk about stressful. Did they at least get the apartment?
Yeah, they did, but it was a total disaster. Thin walls, noisy neighbors, the whole 9 yards.
Ugh, what a letdown. So it seems like life keeps throwing him curveballs. Even when he's trying so hard,
It does. But we've talked about his family, his parents, his brother, and his way of dealing with grief. But there's also, like, this whole other side to the story. He's searching for connection, trying to figure out what it all means.
Oh, right. Like finding his place in the world.
Yeah. He writes about dating, catching up with old friends, thinking about his past. It's like he's putting a puzzle together.
I see. Trying to make sense of everything. And what I find interesting is that he's so honest about his own flaws, He doesn't try to sugarcoat anything.
Right. Like, remember the story about Sarah, the sexologist? He takes her on a date, but he's so focused on getting her back to his place, he totally misses the point.
Oh, wow. He's not holding back, is he?
Not at all. And he's always overthinking, like analyzing everything he does.
Always searching for answers, maybe.
Maybe. And then there's this whole thing about his fascination with death. Like, dark humor, morbid stuff. It's like he's wrestling with how fragile life is,
Right, trying to wrap his head around it. I remember that part in the hospital bathroom, the guy with the prosthetic leg.
Yeah, it's just a leg sitting on the sink, but he gets totally fixated on it. Like, wondering if the guy's insecure about his body.
It's almost like he's trying to connect his own experiences with, like, these random events.
Right. He even compares himself to celebrities he reads about in those gossip magazines, blending real-life tragedy with, like, the whole tabloid spectacle.
Do you think he's looking for a connection in those comparisons? Or is it more about finding meaning in, that we all go through similar things?
Maybe a bit of both. He talks about this lattice that connects everyone, but he's not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. He's always watching others and feeling watched himself.
That's a good point. It makes you wonder, is he really looking for connection or is it more about isolation?
That's the question, isn't it? Maybe he's trying to figure out where he belongs in the big picture, especially after losing his parents.
Makes sense. And that's where writing comes in, right? For him, memory and storytelling. That's how he makes sense of grief and figures out who he is.
Exactly. And his style is so unique, this mix of humor, honesty, and really deep observations. Remember the part where he's writing his mom's eulogy?
While she was dying. Wow. Heavy.
Yeah, he's on the couch struggling to find the right words, and she's right there in the next room. It's powerful.
So what stands out to you about his writing? Like, what makes it so unique?
It's raw and honest, but he's never feeling sorry for himself. And he's not afraid to make fun of himself. Plus, he can connect these seemingly random things and make them into a story that's both personal and, like, relatable to everyone.
Right, like he's saying, hey, this is my experience, but you can find something in it too.
Exactly. He actually uses the word cannibalism to describe his writing. Like, he devours these experiences and spits them back out on the page.
Cannibalism. Wow, that's intense.
I know, right? He even says, like, you could know every detail of his life, but still not really know him.
That's deep. It's like he's challenging the reader to figure things out for themselves,
Yeah, he's not giving you the answers, just showing you his journey as honest as he can. And that makes it so engaging.
I agree. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about grief. Like those rituals we have around death and how we try to make sense of it all.
It's a reminder that grief isn't a straight line, It's messy, it's unpredictable, and it's different for everyone. If you're enjoying this deep dive, you can check out 1teen387podcast.com for more.
That's a good point. There's no right or wrong way to grieve.
Through all of this, one thing that really sticks out is how much the author focuses on memory. Like specific moments from his life. He describes them in such detail. It's like he's trying to hold on to them,
Yeah, I get that. Like little snapshots of time. He even talks about visiting a graveyard as a kid and being like overwhelmed by the thought of death being forever.
And that's got to stay with you, right?
Yep.
Maybe that's where this need to write comes from. Like he doesn't want to forget. Remember that scene in the car with Tooff?
When Tooff says he can barely remember their parents.
Yeah. And the author just starts telling all these stories like he has to keep those memories alive. Not just for himself, but for Tooff too.
It's a pretty powerful moment. It goes beyond just telling his own story,
Right. It's about preserving something for his brother, for himself.
Yeah.
Maybe even for us, the readers. It makes you realize that stories can keep people alive in a way, even after they're gone.
Definitely. Which brings us to the end of A Journey Through Grief. It's hard to put it in a box, It's funny, it's sad, it's honest, it's what makes you think about life.
I agree. I'm still thinking about how he deals with grief. It makes you question those rituals we have around death. Like, are they really helpful or are they just what we're supposed to do?
It definitely makes you think. So what resonated with you the most?
For me, it's that there's no one right way to grieve. Everyone goes through it differently. And his story kind of gives you permission to find your own way.
That's a good takeaway. And for you, the listener, maybe it encourages you to think about how you deal with grief in your own life, you know? How do you cope? How do you find meaning? And how do you hold on to those memories that are important to you?
That's a great point. And remember, telling stories, sharing those memories, it can really help. So what did we learn today? This deep dive into a journey through grief, I think it shows us how powerful it can be to be open and honest, how important connection is, and how resilient we can be, even when life throws us a curveball.
I think that's beautifully put. And maybe it leaves you with one final thought to chew on. How can you use memory and storytelling to make sense of your own life, not just when dealing with grief, but in every part of your journey?
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. If you want more thought-provoking conversations like this, head over to 1337podcast.com. We have a whole bunch of deep dives waiting for you.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive. Until then, remember, strength and honor. I am Spartacus.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Strength and honor. I am Spartacus.
Thanks for watching. Tap into 1337podcast.com.